The film series that won't die. Nearly 30 movies, one house, actually several houses, and cursed artifacts.
The Amityville Horror Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Amityville Horror Podcast. I am Tom.
I'm Pat, and this week we are going to be watching Amityville Clownhouse.
Oh man, I have been pumped to watch this one. Every time we go onto the Tubi, we keep seeing, you type in Amityville and you keep seeing all the posters. The Clownhouse poster has been horrific.
Yeah, it's a big scary clown face.
It's just terrible, and so I've been pretty pumped to see the Amityville. What is this Clownhouse? What does that mean? Yeah. It's not a fun house.
No, it's not a fun house. It's not maybe it's like a clown car where it's like you open every door and clowns pile out.
There's behind every door is a different clown. Actually, no, that's 31. That's
it's 31. I was going to say it's like 13 ghosts, but 13 clowns.
13 clowns would be great.
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun.
That would also be, all of this would be better than 31.
This is very true.
Man, 31, I like all the people, I like Rob Zombie's stable of jerk actors, but especially that Richard Brake guy, but that one was good. But that's not this. This is Amityville with clowns, and it's also a sequel to Amityville Toybox.
Yes. No, Amityville Toybox was the one, I remember liking that one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the father's birthday. He gets the toy monkey from the Monkey Shines poster, which I did finally watch. They had it on HBO Max. It's Romero. It's good.
It's Romero. It's good. That does not follow all the time.
I know it doesn't follow, but it has a lot of the stuff I like about Romero movies, even when I don't like the movie.
Fair.
It definitely has its charms. It has some absolutely insane moments. It's a good end of the night watch, or maybe a pizza and beer movie. But yeah, I thought it was fun.
Better than Bruiser.
I remember having more fun. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's the thing. I was just Bruiser is not good.
Yeah.
Bruiser's another one of those. It's this should be Jason Fleming doing some sort of American Psycho movie with George Romero and Peter Stormare is in it. Let's do this. And then I finally watch it. You had nothing to say.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. This one also has the benefit of very young in their careers in ascending order. Janine Turner from Northern Exposure.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I hadn't seen her in many other roles, but she's in it.
I watched Cliffhanger a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. But more importantly, it features, before we knew them, young Stanley Tucci and Stephen Root.
Stanley Tucci had a resume as long as your arm before he quote-unquote hit.
Yeah.
What would we say was his breakout role?
Probably,
There was a point where he'd
Big Night.
Is it though?
I think because he co-wrote and co-directed it, it was showing that he was more than just character actor off to the side. I feel like that's the one where Hollywood really looked at, we need to use this guy more often. He's good to have around.
Yeah.
He got indie respect and credibility. And then even though it didn't do nearly as well, The Imposters showed his range. Because, Big Night's a comedy, but it's got a lot more drama to it, and it's not nearly as farcical, but Imposters is just so much fun.
Imposters is a good time.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Don't get me wrong, I adore Big Night, but it's did people see Big Night? Is that...
It did well for the arts circuit, yeah.
Fair. Because, that's the thing, is, there was, Stanley Tucci was around forever, and you would notice him in the background as one of those guys, but there was a distinct moment where it's now he is a name, in addition to being one of those guys, and he's in every other thing. It's just which is good.
Yeah. It's Sam Jackson had been in plenty of stuff, and then he basically,
Pulp
Fiction.
You have to give Pulp Fiction credit for something, Patrick.
I do. I give it credit for taking the guy who was so good in Loaded Weapon 1 and making a star out of him.
No, swear to fucking God.
Loaded Weapon was not a star maker.
No, it was not. And I'm pretty sure it came out after.
I thought it was the year before.
It may have been concurrent. I know it was.
They were close. Yeah. But, Sam was in True Romance, and that didn't make him a star. It was Pulp Fiction.
True Romance for 2 minutes in a hat and sunglasses.
I know.
He you knew
Loaded
you
Weapon, he was
recognized
at least
him,
on the poster.
You recognized him more from
Jurassic Park?
Coming to America.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it had a career, but Pulp Fiction was the one where he blew up. I feel like Big Night
You
was
have
that
to
for
understand,
Susan.
listeners at home, it's a recurring thing. Patrick hates Quentin Tarantino and everything he does. But
Yeah.
he has to acknowledge that was the movie that made Sam Jackson.
I completely acknowledge that, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so we were surprised to find that there is a sequel among the direct-to-video movies.
Yeah, it's like a sub-sequel.
Yeah, because there's the first 8 of these are purportedly sequels to each other.
Even though the continuity is completely adrift.
Yes, but the cursed items that you see in the early films, like the It's About Time, the Dollhouse, the one with the mirror, those are all supposed to be connected to that original movie.
Right, but they're like splinter factions off of it. Yeah.
And then in the
They're
direct
franchised.
agreed. And then the direct to video ones, it's all been kind of the wild, wild west. So it's kind of crazy that there is one of the direct to video guys that has its own sequel.
Yeah,
series.
the Mark Polonium one we thought would be a sequel, and it was not.
Yeah.
It was just
that
a
was weird.
completely different thing from a guy who had already done one.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, as we're finding out here, why not make a sequel to one you already made?
Why not just make another one? It's not like anybody cares or has to sit through these goddamn things. Anyway.
But I know you wanted to talk a little bit about sequels that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, there's in this quote unquote golden age of franchising and sequels. Mm-hmm. Trying to think of some movies where it's just this didn't need a sequel. Toybox did not need a sequel. The guy he literally killed all 14 members of his family.
Yeah,
we're done. Well, except for maybe one got away. Maybe I forget.
I honestly don't remember. I know that he came out with a
every
rifle.
Single person.
They even added the 2 guys on the roadside.
Yeah, more people.
Yeah,
we'll go with he killed her. But so trying to think of movies where we didn't need anything and yet you have to go and yet you persisted. Biggest one that I could think of, Jaws.
Yeah.
We killed the shark.
And then we made 3 more movies.
Then we made 3 more movies.
The second one, okay, maybe the water currents are changing enough that great whites are just going to occasionally show up in this area periodically. We have to accept climate change has affected things.
Yeah, this is a going problem now.
Right. That a great white shows up at the fairly well, probably, guarded SeaWorld that the son of Brody is working for. That's a little coincidental.
We're pushing Die Hard to Die Harder leaps in logic,
but not quite as much as this time. It's personal.
The shark First, the shark went out of its native waters to Amity Island, took out one of the brothers, and then made its way all the way down to the Caribbean to find the other brother.
Mm-hmm. The water is a bit different
plot.
and not habitable for great whites.
Yeah.
None of the Jaws sequels needed to happen
at all.
Yeah, they might have their entertaining moments, but there was no questions needed to be answered.
Other than when Mario Van Peebles gets it.
Yeah. Sonny Spoon, we hardly knew.
It's so stupid. It's so bad, and it's Mario Van Peebles is one of those actor directors. Is I'm not saying you're the greatest thing ever. But it's unfortunate. You are better than the stuff you get relegated to, and it's kind of a bummer.
It's you get eaten in Jaws 4, and you turn around and make New Jack City. These are the same guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then later you're in a made-for-TV backdoor pilot werewolf cop movie.
Yeah. Which was Anthony Hickox.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's
Patsy
fun.
Kensit, Bruce Payne. Dude, Full Eclipse is pretty good.
I enjoyed it.
Considered. Yeah. But also, back when I was doing my terrible triple features, I did a month of 50 Cent movies.
Oh, my.
Oh, no. 50 Cent has made so many movies you would not believe. It was not hard to come up with 4 different triple feature ideas that did not overlap.
Wow.
The last of the month was, the theme was as written by 50 Cent.
Okay.
And I became a fan of 50 Cent doing these things because you see him. He had written at least 3 movies at that point, and he was getting better at it. Like you could tell, he took everything seriously and was trying to make a better movie each time. And the last one was he plays a pro college athlete that's like on the verge of like starting his professional career when he gets hit with cancer, and his whole life turns to shit. It's called All Things Fall Apart. Because the Chinua Achebe people complained. Mm-hmm. That's a true story, by the way.
Okay.
But it's co-starring and directed by Mario Van Peebles.
Oh,
and it
nice.
was like it added like another like a level of quality to the thing. And I actually I recommend that All Things Fall Apart. It's not the greatest movie, but everybody's doing well in it, including 50 Cent.
Nice.
Or no, especially 50 Cent, but also Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah.
Which, that's what we're talking about on an Amityville podcast.
Yeah. Mario Van Peebles wise, I know he did Highlander 3 with...
Highlander.
Yeah,
3.
he did that with Lambert, but there's a movie him and Christopher Lambert did with Patrick Stewart, Dennis Leary, and Famke Johnson called Gunman.
Wait, what?
It's super fun. The two of them are the bickering, air quote, buddy cop heroes, like good guys, but they hate each other through the whole movie. Like, they don't really let up on how much they hate each other. It's never, like, they soften.
There's no winking and we
like
both actually respect each other moments. They just hate each other.
It's just the two of them are just, we've got to get through this, but still fuck you for most of the movie.
Yes.
But the villains are Patrick Stewart, pre-X-Men in a wheelchair. Like, I think possibly petitioning for the role of Professor X.
It's like,
but he's a Central American drug kingpin.
Awesome.
One of his henchmen is Dennis Leary.
Sure.
And then,
Dennis Leary should never be in charge of a massive criminal organization.
No, but
Henchman.
But this was when he was getting those roles. It was like him in Demolition Man, him in Natural Born Killers,
Suicide Kings.
Yeah, like they're gonna pop him in here. You do your speed rant things. He has the commercial in the middle that was like the MTV style commercial about Mickey and Mallory. It might have been in the director's cut only.
Yeah, I don't think I remember that.
Yeah, but yeah, it was basically when he had first hit and when he still had his dialogue written for him, as opposed to stealing other people's material.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, oh my God, he's a comedic mind, but in a role like this, it's where he worked.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Famke Johnson's just awesome.
I love
and also
Famke Janssen.
Her with, Professor X beforehand.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. That's almost as bad as what, you ever hear of that Christopher Reeve movie, Above Suspicion?
Rings a bell.
This is made for HBO. He plays super cop, something Dempsey Kane. And through a series of goofy circumstances, he ends up in a wheelchair. And this was made like 2 years before.
Crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth tracking down for. Script by and co-starring William H. Macy.
Oh, no shit.
And also Joe Mantegna's in it and Kim Cattrall. It's almost like Mamet's side, like all Mamet's regulars got together to make a movie without Mamet while they were in between stuff, but in a good way. In a good way. It's just like we're not cutting Mamet out. It's just like, otherwise, like Rebecca Pidgeon would be in there, and that would be very awkward.
Well, something with absolutely no Mamet to it. For my movie that didn't need a sequel.
Yeah.
Caddyshack. Caddyshack 2 features no Mamet. It features no point.
I mean, the first one didn't have any Mamet in its defense.
Yeah, and the first one may have ultimately wound up pointless because they went so far off the script, just improvising and riffing. But there was at least a spirit to the whole thing.
Yes, like the movie is cohesive, even if it is episodic.
Yeah, it's just, this is slice of life at this golf course, but very hard onto the farce. It was, it had more...
It's Caddyshack, baby. You don't have to explain Caddyshack.
No, I felt like it was the National Lampoon crew starting to understand a structural narrative, but not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And, by Vacation, between Ramis and Hughes, they understood full structure and how to make it hit besides just the parody. But Caddyshack 2 is...
Awful.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater when I was, 11 or 12?
Yeah.
And even then, at that age, like, oh my God, it's, Dan Aykroyd. He's in so many movies I love. Chevy Chase is funny and probably not a garbage person. I'm young and naive.
Yeah.
Jackie Mason. Jackie Mason was funny.
Jackie Mason's so goddamn funny.
Randy Quaid, I had known from, The Vacations. I was like...
And it hadn't turned into anything horrible either yet.
Right. It was, there was a lot of young and naive going into it. But even then, at 12, where pretty much anything is still funny...
Yeah.
I just remember thinking how garbage it was, just how completely unfunny.
Isn't those terrifying moments when you think back on when you realize while you were a kid, you're watching the movie and you're going, oh, this isn't great. Mm-hmm. I think mine was Drop Dead Fred, where I was in the theater going, this is not good. And everything is good. I'm in a movie theater. What the hell am I talking about?
It's Phoebe Cates. It's Rick Mayall.
This movie's not good.
It's
not good.
It's not. It's
there are bigger debates that we don't have time.
Oh, I know. No, it's like I've tried to give it a rewatch. I want to have at least like a sweet nostalgia for it because I like the two of them so much.
Yeah,
but it's rough.
Carrie Fisher's in this movie.
Yeah,
and yet, none of this has anything to do with Amityville.
No, but then again, half the Amityvilles don't either.
No, they don't. But we got to watch them anyway. So
this is true. And this one is a sequel. This one is going to be an Amityville.
This is Amityville.
Fingers crossed.
Got a clown. So we're gonna watch this one. We said it's on Tubi, and we'll see you guys in a minute.
Which is your way of knowing that we're back.
It's like normal, like in better circumstances, you could come out of a movie like that and go, well, that was a thing, except it wasn't.
Yeah.
There is no thing there.
It's... There is a string of scenes.
There are a string of scenes.
Yeah, which we're gonna...
We're gonna talk about the ones that have any causal connection to each other. They feature Ben and Michelle.
Ben goes to Jesse's junk drawer.
Jesse's junk drawer. Manned by Mark Patton of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge fame. Mm-hmm. He's not playing Jesse, because that would be a funny thing to have Mark Patton playing a character named Jesse again. But no, he is credited as James.
Yeah, which is weird because I think in the subtitles they do occasionally call him Jesse.
Probably.
Yeah, so... consistency. Yeah. But yeah, he runs this antique shop that looks very much like any modern comic book store, but shooting around the comics. Yep. They have such antiques as the Diamond Select Monsters figures,
Stargate figures,
reproductions of Voltron toys. Yeah. All of these vintage toys from the last 5-10 years.
It's like the stuff you'd see in New England if you were to go antiquing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your standard Christmas shops that you find near the beach and,
your Cracker Barrel shit. But anyway, so Ben and Michelle go to the store. Ben falls immediately in love with a certain monkey with symbols toy, which you might remember from Amityville Toybox.
If you don't, they will cover it for you.
We'll cover it.
We'll get to that. So this monkey gets brought home, and almost immediately his wife, Michelle, is not happy with it. She didn't like it at the shop. She didn't like that he bought it for $50 and refused to take a receipt with it.
Yeah.
I think she also refused. No, he refused the receipt, right?
Yeah, he refused the receipt. There's no way I'm bringing it back. In Michelle's defense, it is ugly. Mm-hmm. It is just really ugly. This is not even conversation piece ugly. This is just ugly.
Yeah, it's not a cute toy. They never have been. I mean, there's a reason why they're used in horror movies so consistently. And also in her defense, it is evil and it is a problem.
But it just, every time she's bringing it up, it doesn't feel like you never see the monkey, you never see her see the monkey cause something to happen.
Right. Know? She never sees, the stove turn on and turns around and the monkey's right there clapping the cymbals. It's just they had bought a thing and that week things start going and she's just... It's the monkey. It's the monkey. The monkey's evil. But yeah, she says it with a kind of conviction that's not convincing at all.
No, which is weird because she's right. And obviously she's right. This is an evil-looking monkey toy. So Ben starts acting more and more erratic. He goes off, finds a prostitute, and guess what? You're in luck, viewer, because you get to watch a violent rape.
Yep. So,
Trigger warning.
but no, that's right there, that scene, and then...
It was bad.
Yeah. So I'm already going to just, bury the lead or whatnot and say resale value extremely low.
Very, very low.
Yeah.
So he goes off, rapes a prostitute, comes back home, has more fights with Michelle. Mm-hmm. But he ends on the succeeding night, has initiates sex with Michelle, which ends up in another violent rape. Mm-hmm. And
the one where the camera angle is mostly on his ass up in the air with some really baggy sweatpants.
Yeah. You can still see his VPLs though.
Yeah.
And so he rapes his wife.
Punches her several times. She has bruises for the rest of the movie that he apparently doesn't see because he calls them her neuroses.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So Michelle goes to... she calls up Jesse's junk drawer to find out where this monkey came from. James says that he picked it up at an estate sale for the Jensen family, who are the family from the Toybox movie. Michelle does a lot of research at the library, tracks down the one survivor from Amityville Toybox, Julia, who tells her the whole story about the Toybox movie. Michelle goes home, almost gets murdered by Ben, but turns the tables on him, grabs his shotgun and shoots the monkey. They run off and leave, and then James comes and collects the monkey toy for a new unsuspecting victim.
He puts all the pieces in a little wooden box, and then it's on sale again at his toy shop.
Yeah.
As the literal only antique he has on display.
Exactly.
So.
And that what?
At 7 minutes, that has covered the plot of the movie. You might think, how long is this movie? Well,
it's 74 minutes long.
According to the timer on the... according to the timer on Tubi, comes in at 74 minutes, but we need to break down what those 74 minutes really are.
About 20 minutes is the Ben and Michelle story, which is the closest thing to an actual story.
Yeah, we did summarize there. Yeah. There's little details here and there, like Ben has a nightmare at one point where he sees the original Amityville house, its windows are glowing red, then a flash of the claw from the poster of Amityville 3D.
Yeah.
Just kind of does a Batman 66 zoom at the camera.
It's a pretty great Photoshop effect.
Uh-huh.
Or Apple Studios. Yeah, iMovie, baby.
Yeah. There's an air quotes subplot of Ben claiming that it's rats in the attic.
Yeah.
But there are no rat droppings. An exterminator comes by, doesn't find anything, but sets more traps free of charge.
Yeah.
But none of that really adds up to anything except Michelle still being rightly convinced that the monkey is bad.
Yes.
And Ben still being an asshole. So contributes nothing, but they do go back to it enough times to gain a couple minutes on runtime.
Yep, and we did gloss over the 8 minutes of Michelle walking in a park to find her favorite drawing spot to draw the window of the Amityville house when, the lighting is correct.
Yeah.
And then going back home.
Yeah. So when we say 8 minutes of walking...
We mean 8 minutes of walking.
Yeah. I counted in... before she sits down to draw, there are 6 separate shots where it's a wide shot and you watch her walk entirely from one part of the frame off to the other, crosses it, and this is down long staircases, this is through a park. These are long shots. This is not just a quick insert. 6 separate in a row, no dialogue, her just walking through frame broken up twice. Once by cutting to a fountain for a good 20, 30 seconds.
Yep.
Then once cutting to a fish pond for, again, another 20, 30 seconds.
Yep.
Then there's all of the drawing, which we watch her draw the entire thing.
Yes, we do.
From multiple angles, line by line, starts coloring it, the whole deal. So, captivating in that Terrence Malick kind of way.
It's called visual storytelling, Patrick.
I'm sure it is.
But there's all that. But that is not all that you'll find in Amityville Toybox, a.k.a. Amityville Evil Never Dies, which we were wondering why they kept saying the phrase Evil Never Dies over and over in the film, and then we found out it's because in some distributions, this is Amityville, The Evil Never Dies.
And I need to correct you because you said this is not... you said this was Amityville Toybox. This is Amityville Clownhouse.
Yeah.
But your confusion, I'm sure,
Yeah.
comes in part because the...
Didn't I say, I thought I said from Amityville Toybox.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway.
But...
We're beating around the bush. There are whole swaths of this movie that are parts of other movies.
Including Toybox.
Toybox.
Is when they go to the mental home, the daughter from that one recounts the plot with
What
not a lot
lives.
of context.
Yeah.
Like, there are entire chunks of it where we're like, wait, they're not telling you that the grandfather ghost is not visible to most characters, or it's not setting up the things to give you the impact of seeing that movie. It's just literally 9 to 10 minutes of footage cut down as more or less the finale of this one. It's sort of the inverse of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, where they open with basically half the movie as the first movie shrunk down. This one, they end with it. That's the big closer, is the same shit.
Yeah, and the stuff they're showing are, if you guys go back and listen to our Toybox episode, you'll remember that the patriarch, Mark, from Mark Jansen of the Toybox family, is having horrible hallucinations of his father telling him to kill everybody. And so we're seeing all of that. We don't know, is Julia telling Michelle these things?
Yeah.
Was she aware of them?
Yeah, because she didn't, I don't think, know the dad was crazy until he came after her with the gun. But somehow these conversations he had with his mother and dead father are all there. So, the perspective of it is difficult.
Yes. But understand, it was a breath of fresh air because since the sound mix of this film is remarkably bad.
It's not music overwhelms the subtitles bad. That's still the peak of worst sound mix.
That's a usual thing. We can deal. We're used to that.
Yeah. But this one, you can't hear the dialogue. You have to watch this with subtitles because the dialogue is super low for most of the movie, except when they flash to other movies.
Yeah.
And
the sound effects, though, are as loud as anything.
Super cranked, so you can't turn it up to be able to hear it because the birds chirping over an outdoor scene are just deafening.
Yes.
Any sort of any something drops off camera, any sort of, random slam or any shotgun blast is absolutely peaked out.
Yeah.
So, the sound mix is 100% terrible.
Except for when they're just literally copying footage from
another movie that was mixed by somebody else. The color correction in this one, first off, cameras don't appear to have been white balanced, which means they weren't working with color cameras with white balance, or they somehow managed to muddle it that bad.
Yeah.
Through the entire walking montage mini film.
Yeah, in the park.
Yeah.
On a sunny day.
Michelle.
Very sunny day.
Very sunny day, blown out sunny. But, sunshine typically does give people that very nice, beautiful fuchsia hue.
Yes.
All of the people are an unnatural, Star Trek makeup, pinkish purple.
Yes.
Leaves turn blue at points. The color correction, well, there was no correction. There was just Color catastrophe. So these are nitpicky things for those of you who are filmmakers, but
normally I would say yes, it's nitpicky, but this is just, it made it difficult to watch and follow.
It hurt my eyes. It was kind of like trying to figure out a stereogram, but they didn't put one in there. My eyes were actually aching at certain scenes.
Now, attentive listeners might notice there's one word we haven't mentioned at all in our summary of Amityville Clownhouse.
Plot. Oh, wait. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yep, it's also that. The clown. You might be wondering, where is the clown? Well, the clown is at the beginning of the film in the cold open. The first... there's actually the same clown is featured in 2 cold opens to this movie that have no connection to the rest of the movie. Much like Toybox ended with a completely unconnected clown thing at the end. This is the pickup of that, or the context of that, where we see, oh my God, a birthday party is being set up for James. It's all like. It's all very little kitty, balloons, streamers, a banner, a whole 9 yards.
Yeah. No, this is not the same James that's Jesse, who is or is not James in the credits.
Yeah.
This is a different teenage James, and
Well, it's, as it turns, absolutely right. Different James. This one is apparently 18 or 19 years old, appears to be 30 years old, and he and his sister are not happy with this at all, and it's everything they can do to just they act honestly, it's just to, tell their mother to go fuck herself while they're in the bedroom.
Yeah, they say repeatedly how much they hate their mother.
They call her a moron.
Call her a moron. They hate her. They just want nothing to do with her. They're wondering where Dad is, though, if we're going to do a birthday party. James complains that his mom still thinks he's 10, which is really hard to imagine because of how 30 he looks.
He looks so old.
And
they look the same age.
Yeah. His sister also definitely looks mid-20s into early 30s and talks about how she's 18 and it's no big deal that she has birth control. Why does Mom have to freak out about it? Yeah. That's apropos of nothing. That's just something she drops in the conversation.
Sure.
They wind up getting back to the dining room for the birthday surprise. Dad will be down in a minute. Mom seems to know what the surprise is, except is very surprised by it.
Yeah, Dad is... We cut to... At the mention of Dad, we cut to Dad in the bathroom having something of a complete mental breakdown.
Yeah, even the mirror is sweating.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And he starts putting makeup on. And then he paints himself up into a fairly horrifying clown.
Mm-hmm. With a weird crooked smile that's turned up on one side, down on the other, like a diamond on one eye, circle on the other.
Yep. And a shotgun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the important part.
And then he proceeds to kill everybody.
Yeah.
In really graphic... impressive,
very graphic.
You can tell that this is just made by different people. It's just different focus on gore, or actually there is gore.
Yeah.
There's the mom's head gets blown off from the nose up.
Yeah. And we get multiple shots in the body moving with the top of her head just gone and twitchy. Open and gory. At which point Dad says, "Well,
this isn't
James,
funny.
You got your this isn't funny, but James, you got your wish."
Yeah, James, you got your wish, and then this isn't funny at all, and then he kills himself.
Well, he shoots both of the kids.
Yeah.
And again, air quote kids. He shoots the sister in the neck, which opens up a wound.
Yeah.
Imagine the T-1000 when it got hit with the elephant gun and it just kind of spattered out. Imagine that, but it's it's blood and muscle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Same with James.
Yeah.
And then Dad blows his own head off. And that's the end of cold opening number 1. Mm-hmm. Cold opening number 2 takes place in the same house 1 week later, with 3 hoodlums breaking into the house to find something to sell on the dark web, because people on the dark web are into murder shit. And that's when we find out that the dad was actually a state senator. For reasons.
Yeah.
That are never brought up again.
Yeah. He was respected in the community. Everyone knew who he was, except in parts of the movie where nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
And it didn't make certain headlines when research is being done. Now, this murder was at one point mentioned as a week ago.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. I'm just making sure everyone's clear.
Yeah.
The people, one of the friends of the break-in crew has not heard of this.
Yes.
At this house where a family was just slaughtered right
Do you follow
a week
local,
ago.
Do you follow local politics, Patrick?
We're in Baltimore. There's a little bit of a difference from this to sleepy little Amityville.
Fair.
Like a town like Twin Peaks can get completely upended by a single murder.
Yeah.
So it's fine. You got to find the difference. But yeah.
We could have been watching Twin Peaks. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
So they're looking through this house trying to find the evil monkey, you say? No,
not an evil monkey.
They're trying to find the clown painting that was rescued from the furnace at the end tag of the last one.
Yes.
Of Toybox. And this clown painting looks like
it's a velvet Elvis.
Kind of a velvet Elvis, kind of if Clive Barker tried to do a portrait of Carrot Top
on black velvet.
Yeah, it's something.
I would buy that painting.
Yeah. So they're looking for that painting, and they find it.
One of the guys splits off to look upstairs, finds a Jack-in-the-Box. Why? First, we get 2 minutes of him trying to open the Jack-in-the-Box like an orangutan until he realizes, the thing he remembered from when he was 1 year old, that if you turn the crank on a Jack-in-the-Box, the box will open.
Yep.
And then the box opens, and Thing Adams pops out and pokes his eyeballs out.
Not just grabs his face, but you see fingers go into the dummy.
Yeah.
And go into the sockets and squish it out.
Oh.
I mean, his dialogue wasn't that good.
Hey.
Oh, no, it was his friend with the girlfriend that called her.
Bitch.
Yeah, called her a fucking bitch 3 times in a row before she kisses him.
Yeah.
It's
once again
charming.
I'm doing the wrong thing with women.
Amity's full of garbage people. Yeah. But yeah,
and that was
these
also
are all...
that pregnant sigh was Patrick realizing I'm sitting next to a garbage person. But yeah.
So that's the end of cold open. Oh no, it's not. He gets his eyes gouged out. Then the girl
gets killed off camera, I think.
No, she sees the painting, and the clown appears behind her as it disappears from the painting.
Right.
She screams, but then she is the clown.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. She gets hers off screen, and then she reappears in the clown makeup. Mm-hmm. And I forget, what did she do to the guy?
I can't remember if we saw.
Yeah,
oh no, yeah, she says she's gonna rip his heart out and eat it.
Oh,
and she does.
Yeah. Oh man, listeners, at that point, Patrick and I, we were so excited for this film. We were so excited for this movie because man, we had multiple gunshot wounds, evil clown, eye gouging, heart rip out and eating on screen, and then it goes to the credits, and everything sucked after that.
Yeah, actually, they did run. I just looking at my notes because I remembered it that way, but apparently the credits were run between the 2 cold opens, where a priest is giving the history of the Amityville series.
You're right. It's because of the monkey thing that it's oh my god,
which we'll get to in a sec.
Yeah.
This priest, who doesn't appear in the rest of the movie, gives us the history of the Amityville house, including all of the cursed items, including showing us the lamp, the mirror, the coat rack, the Hummel collection.
Yeah. In addition to name checking, they're literally just stealing, Getty images from all of the movies of all the haunted items up to this point.
Yeah, but it
was really nice.
Yeah, they do an exhaustive, recap of a lot of the other Amityville ones. They do that again when they talk to the daughter in the insane asylum, who recounts all the different items and even says, "I think they made a bunch of movies about those."
Yeah. Yeah, they
Wink.
did. Yeah, they did.
So yeah, then
Evil Never Dies. The podcast
Second cold
will
open.
never die.
oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
then
The monkey footage.
The three hoodlums. And then, so after the three hoodlums, we get, like, is it 5 straight
I
minutes
think it is.
of just phony baloney 8mm, like, Rob Zombie flashbacky footage of the monkey.
And the package the monkey came in.
Yep.
And the writing on the package. And the eyes. And now here's the monkey against a different wall. And here it is from a low angle. And here it is from the back. And here's its ear close up. Like, it's just
And here's the
every
monkey.
drop of second unit footage they shot of this thing.
Yeah. And here's the monkey in the pipe screensaver.
Now, here's the monkey on vacation in lovely Tahiti.
Here's the monkey in Delaware.
Hey, the monkey's in Delaware. So, yeah.
If you're of a certain age, you understood that joke and you thought it was hilarious.
And if not, and you feel like the momentum of this podcast crashed with that joke, you know how we feel as we were like, okay, that was gory and crazy. Okay, that was unexpected. Okay, we're just looking at this monkey for 5 minutes.
And also the thrift store skull that was on the workbench next to it.
Yeah, I was so wrapped up in the monkey, I didn't even notice.
You almost didn't mention that thrift store skull.
I have a very similar one.
Christ. And that's half of the movie.
Yeah. Like, seriously, so much of this movie
half
is
of my
padding.
notes. And so they buy the Then we get to the stuff we mentioned before where Ben and Michelle buy this monkey. We didn't mention that Jennifer Coolidge is in this movie somehow.
Or a very celebrity impersonator on Hollywood Boulevard or like Times Square version.
This poor woman has had a lot of work done. None of it looks good. And she's put an awful lot of makeup on top of it. She's walking around in this platinum blonde hair with a fur coat, high heels, dinner dress, and a lap dog.
Yeah, she's taking her dog for a walk in one scene but carries it most of the rest. Including, like, at one point the dog gets loose in the house and she follows it up and manages to get it out safely, if I remember right.
Yes.
There is
nothing happens.
Nothing happens. No stakes, no...
The only violence done in this movie is Ben towards women. Mm-hmm. Which may or may not be the result of the monkey.
Yeah, he might have just been a total shitbird from the get-go.
Yeah.
But he is a total shitbird.
The greatest moment of the movie outside of the clown murders, which are really great, was when Michelle is doing research at the library and she finds old newspaper clippings of Amityville related stuff, and in the headline for one of the massacres it says, "Was the toy monkey to blame?" At which point Patrick and I started laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
As loud as we could. It was great because neither of us pointed it out to the other. We all both just started laughing as hard as we could at the same time.
And yeah, we both... It's rare that we make the exact same note. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. And so then we get the newscaster footage.
Yeah, there's another chunk where we cut away from the air quote movie, where it's a local news program that looks much better than most of the rest of the footage from this movie, not including film footage from other movies.
Yes.
The interviewer is a cameo from
okay. It's
guy.
the English guy from Amityville Playhouse, because
the
writer-director guy.
But not the same character.
John Walker.
Yeah.
Playing Peter Summers, which he made? Oh. Keep going.
All right, but yeah, he's doing an expose that is right after the incident of the senator killing his family in clown outfit.
That's it. That's how he's in all these movies.
He's the newscaster
He's
from here on
playing
out?
the newscaster in all these movies. They're all credited. The character is Peter Summers.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, that
Good
makes
to know.
so much more sense now. We had noticed that he will be popping up in a bunch of these movies. And we were wondering, like, is he playing just a recurring character? But also, this character name is appearing in other movies, like Ouija Geist and Meat Hook Massacre 4. And they're all Peter Summers, and now we understand he's playing a newscaster, probably.
Gotcha.
In all of them.
This is his Walter Paisley.
This is his Walter Paisley.
So yeah, he's interviewing a local cop and a local priest
Yup.
who have different opinions. The cop assumes that it's crime.
Nuts. Yeah, he went drunk or went nuts.
Yeah,
or it's drugs or
it must
something.
be drugs or something. It's, you know.
There's a real world explanation for why this guy lost his shit and murdered all the people. Now, they're talking about the Jansen murders and Amityville Toybox at this point.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah. Even though just prior to that, there was an extended flashback to the DeFeo murders, which are now being attributed specifically to this toy monkey.
That was the thing that cursed all of the rest of the house and all of the other objects in it. It started with the monkey.
It started with the monkey.
It's not about the monkey. Is it about the monkey? No. It's not about the monkey. Sorry, I'm on a lot of Twin Peaks references today.
Yeah.
So
It's not.
the priest insists
Oh, man.
it's not drugs, it's not racist, which was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. What's great is that the priest gets very up in arms and wants to convey that there is a supernatural and or spiritual explanation for all these murders. And in the middle of his ramp up, you see it on his face when he completely forgets the point he was trying to make. Mm-hmm. And he just keeps talking. Because that's what old people do.
And it made it some of the most convincing dialogue in the film.
It felt real.
Yeah.
It felt very real.
Mm-hmm. Then he just storms off the set, at which point they cut the green screen imaging that they were doing for him and the other character. So we're seeing that it doesn't even look like a news studio in there at all. It looks like a warehouse where they tried to fake a news studio. I don't know why you would do that.
I feel like it's like they're showing that the local news is even like the local news is faking. I don't know. It was very silly. It was very weird.
I wish we had more to add to that scene, but I wish they did too.
I wish that we had more to add to this movie because at this point, this is where after the newscaster stuff, Michelle tracks down Julia in the mental hospital, and Julia says the key phrase "evil never dies." Name checks all of the cursed items again, and then we get the meat of this movie, which is the last 10 minutes of truncated footage of Toybox.
Right. We get Toybox.
Toybox was awesome.
Yeah. I don't know how.
In comparison.
Yeah. The whole time she's telling the story, by the way, she's doing little I'm crazy acting tics.
A lot of scratching.
A lot of scratching, a lot of like just the Elisa Lamb, Brad Pitt, like finger wiggling.
Yep.
But like kind of mixing and matching all of them so none of them feel like a tick so much as doesn't know what to do with her hands.
Yeah.
But these are all things I've seen crazy people in movies do.
She is Hollywood crazy.
Right.
Like, think of Dutch Hutchison's tour de force performance of Looney Bin Jim in Punisher Warzone.
Right.
He is crazy.
Yeah.
But what is wrong with him?
It's like somebody was given reference but not direction on their mannerisms.
We could have been watching Punisher Warzone.
Still can.
That movie's awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Best Punisher movie.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And so then we're not going to go over everything from Toybox because we went over everything from Toybox.
We really did. They gather
Toybox
the parts. The monkey's back on sale, and boom, the movie's over at 61 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, you may be confused at the math of that.
Because there's 74 minutes on the runtime.
12 minutes of credits.
Literally 12 minutes of credits.
We checked to see how much is left of this movie. Oh, well, there's about 13 minutes left when we checked. And when it immediately had ended, we were confused. How is there 12 minutes left? And as we're discussing, how could there possibly be? No, there has to be more. Maybe there's post-credits tags.
Nick Fury's going to be at the end of these credits.
Yeah. Big, long discussion. We realize that the word crew has finally made it all the way onto screen. Yep. The credits are drifting at
1 mile an hour.
At most. They're scrolling along at a below first grade reading level.
Yes. And these are not, like, in their defense, there were several different production crews on this movie, and all of them get credit.
Yep. But
like, they do the full credits for Toybox.
Yeah, because, they use enough footage, you have to make sure everyone's covered.
Yeah.
But, there is enough time as the credits go by to read them out phonetically and research the letters you're not familiar with.
Yes. Like, what does a tilde mean on top of it? What is the umlaut for?
Is that an appropriate use of an apostrophe? What is a gaffer? I've always been curious. Well, we got some time. Let's check.
We do. We have 12 minutes.
Oh, it turns out the term is actually from boating.
So, to break it all down, we have set the movie, the runtime of Amityville Clownhouse, aka Amityville Evil Never Dies, is 74 minutes. 12 minutes of that is the credits. 20 minutes of that are the 2 cold opens. 5 minutes of that is the monkey footage. 10 minutes is Amityville Toybox. And another 8 to 10 minutes is the newscaster footage. Guys, if you don't have an idea for a movie, just don't make a movie.
Yeah, wait. Build it up. Think of more things.
Yeah, there's nothing here.
You don't have to rush to get another one out.
Unless I guess they do?
Yeah, maybe it was some sort of a tax shelter thing, or...
Jesus Christ, guys. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is more of a movie than this is.
And that's saying something, because that's not a lot of movie.
No. And this didn't even have a garbage day moment. Well, the clown eating the heart is pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That's the thing, if you watched just through the cold opens and stop when you meet Ben.
Yeah.
Again, Ben is a several-time rapist. No need to watch any of that.
No redemption for him at the end. There's no
if you've
struggle.
seen Toybox, which is the better version of showing that footage, you don't need to see any of that. You can literally just do the cold opens. They don't really affect anything else.
No.
And they have some effects gags.
And I bet you the cold open stuff will come back later. It's like we keep getting 10 to 15 minutes of this other movie that's kind of stuck on the other movies.
I think it's starting to build a shared universe like the Marvel movies, but only if the only scenes that cross over between Marvel movies are the ones after the credits.
Yeah.
Everything else in the movie is self-contained, and then just at the end, oh, by the way, this is Iron Man. You guys share a universe. Neat. Good to meet you. Anyway.
I have to stop. I want to react, but it's a spoiler for a recent Marvel movie.
Gotcha. Fair enough. But yeah. But you named your Toybox movie. Well, that was Toybox, but this was not the Clownhouse.
No, it was not. There was one house that had a clown. Well, in their defense, they did name it Amityville Evil Never Dies, and then it looks like it got repurposed or repackaged as Amityville Clownhouse. Because they probably realized the clown parts are the best parts of this goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Oof. This sucked.
This was not good.
This was 2 in a row of bad.
Yeah. We've got some interesting ones coming up.
We got some. I was excited about this one. I kept seeing the poster for this one.
Maybe that's the problem. When we're excited about one, usually it winds up disappointing.
Expectation is the problem.
We need to walk into every single one of these like a first college apartment.
Yeah, this is going to be the worst movie ever.
Yeah.
But we're going to get
This is going to be terrible. The paint's going to fleck off. It's going to smell like 5 generations of other people's cats.
Ugh. And there might be a clown.
There might be a clown. If you're lucky, you just have rats.
If you're lucky, you just have... This is where is the Amityville Geico commercial? You know what I mean? All right. The next one is Against the Night. Amityville Prison. That's gonna be terrible.
Oh God.
Amityville Prison. What would the prison look like in Amityville?
Yeah. And is it a prison built on the property of the old Amityville house, like an old asylum might have been?
Is it next to the asylum?
Right.
And why would you put those together?
Yeah.
And why would you build them on the water?
And are there going to be references to Into the Night, the John Landis, Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Pfeiffer movie?
Into the night.
See, that might make it a lot of fun.
That could make it a lot of fun. Maybe David Bowie's in this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or it could go the other way and we'll just get a lot of Phil Collins nods and it's against all odds.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
I know, but if I had my druthers.
Oh, yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, a Cronenberg cameo.
That'd be nice.
Cronenberg makes a cameo in Into the... I've never finished Into the Night. It's really long.
It is. It is definitely one of the lesser beloved John Landis ones. Harder to find.
Yeah.
Not really talked about. But, I mean, with a career like his, there's going to be some that just kind of drift off into...
It's like I wasn't disliking anything, but it's just like, Jesus, this movie's still going.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Beverly Hills Cop 3 of, let's just not talk about this bad.
Yeah, let's just... Yeah, we all did it, and we're done. Then we don't have to do it again.
Yeah. I still think more people need to love The Stupids, but...
I've never seen The Stupids.
That's the general reaction.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. I have several friends who think it's hilarious. I know a lot of people who despise it openly. But, whatever.
Fair. On that related note...
We had to talk about something.
So, resale value for me... Patrick noted earlier, and I agree, the resale value for this Amityville house is 0. This was terrible.
I'm going to say burn it to the ground.
Yeah, it just... I don't...
Yeah.
Even the clown bits, it's like, it's fine, but this is not you are not... Like, this isn't worth putting it on for the clown bits and then turning it off. Just don't bother with this at all.
Yeah, it's burn it to the ground, possibly salt the earth.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, always salt the earth with the Amityville house.
This is true.
Salt and burn the bones. Did we learn nothing from the Winchesters?
Apparently not. They only gave us 15 years of lessons.
Oh my God, that show went on for so long.
Not as long as this movie.
Not as long as this movie, which was oddly only 74 minutes. Wow, this sucked. All right. Well, I'm just going to keep saying this sucked if we keep going.
Yeah.
I'm Tom.
I'm Pat.
See you guys next week.
If you want to interact with us online, you can check us out on Instagram or Twitter at Amityville Show, or you can send us an email at podcastamityville@gmail.com.